Hello, my name is Marilyn Clark, Economic Engagement Manager for the University of Kentucky. Thank you for joining the Growing Our Own workshop series. At the University of Kentucky, we are dedicated to advancing Kentucky through education, research, healthcare, workforce, and economic development. The Growing Our Own workshops are designed to help small businesses like yours increase capacity, connect to business resources, and find contracting opportunities with the university and other organizations across the state. The workshops in this series include how to do business with the University of Kentucky, knowing your Kentucky small business resources, and which certification is right for your business. These workshops are brought to you by the University of Kentucky Economic Development Collaborative, the UK Cooperative Extension Service, Connect 120, UK Procurement Services, and the support of our business resource partners across the state. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Growing Our Own workshop number 3, Business Certifications, which certification is right for you? Business certifications can open doors to opportunity. With so many certifications available, it can be very confusing. The question is, which certification is right for your business? In this workshop, we will cover local, regional, state, federal, and national certifications. What are the benefits of certification and the application and recertification processes? I know you will find this information very helpful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi everyone, I'm JC Phelps with the Kentucky Small Business Development Center, and I'm here to start the conversation about business conversations. So let's start with the idea of what is certification. Certification is a review process to verify that the business is at least 51% owned, controlled, and operated by the applicant or the applicants. Certification does require that the business be woman, minority, veteran, disabled, LGBTQ owned, or of a socially and economically disadvantaged group. The following groups are presumed to be disadvantaged: African Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, Native Americans, Hispanic Americans, and subcontinent Asian Pacific Americans. The certifying agencies are responsible for ensuring only firms meeting the specified eligibility criteria are properly certified. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out the different types of certification that there are. There are local certifications, private and regional, which come at an expense, public and state, federal government, and national, which also comes at an expense. In the local category, I'm going to briefly talk to you about the Louisville Metro Human Relations Commission. In the private and regional, there is the Tri-State Minority Supplier Development Council, along with the Women's Business Enterprise Council, Ohio River Valley. Public and state, Kentucky Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, which is the KYDBE, the Kentucky Minority and Women's Business Enterprise, and the Kentucky Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Business. For the federal government, you'll hear a little bit about the 8A program. There's the historically underutilized business zones. Maybe you know that as a hub zone. The Women-Owned Small Business Program, Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Program. And then on the national side, which again, we're moving into a for-cost space, similar to private and regional. There's the National Minority Supplier Development Council, the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, National Veteran-Owned Business Association, National Women's Business Owners Council, the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, Disability-Owned Business Enterprise Certification, and the National Veteran-Owned Business Development Council. As mentioned, I'm going to start talking about the local certification. So let's discuss the Louisville Metro Human Relations Commission certification. As you can see, there is a link here from the Louisville, Kentucky website. But for the certification eligibility, which is important to know, businesses must be a sole proprietor, a partnership, corporation, an LLC, joint venture, or any form of business entity that is considered for profit. That business must be at least 51% owned and controlled by a minority. As you can see here, Black, Hispanic, Native American, Asian Pacific, or subcontinental Asian, a woman or a group of women, or persons with disabilities. There is a reciprocity with certification available for LGBTQ and veteran-owned businesses. So some of the benefits of the certification for businesses engaging with Louisville Metro government identify and utilize these underrepresented groups as prime contractors, subcontractors, and suppliers. If you are certified, you're listed on LMG's diversity website for up to 3 years. You have your company information available to all LMG departments, and a national listing in the B2G Now software. You will have invitations to networking events in the space, and you have access to that account 7 days a week, 24/7 through the portal. With regional, there is the Tri-State Minority Supplier Development Council covering Kentucky, Tennessee, and West Virginia. Some benefits and advantages of this program: being MBE certified, it is accepted by other certifying agencies. You have direct access and exposure to corporate decision makers, notifications of bids, inclusion and access into the national database, along with access to training programs, seminars, MBE development, networking events, trade fairs, matchmaker events, referrals, and an MBE orientation. Lastly, we'll talk about the Women's Business Enterprise Council, which is the Ohio River Valley, Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. This certification brings national recognition as a certified WBE by major corporations. You have your business profile listed in the WBE NC Link 2.0. You have opportunities to pursue contracts with national corporate members, along with those educational programs like before, matchmaking events, trade shows. You can use that certified logo in your marketing, exhibit at national and regional business expos, and access to WOSB certification recognized by the federal government. I am going to turn it over to Holly Wilson, who will be talking about the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Holly Wilson. I'm with the Kentucky DBE program, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Disadvantaged DBE Enterprise program. The DBE program is a federally mandated program. It's intended to provide opportunities to firms that are minority or women-owned to help level the playing field. It also helps to extend the Transportation Cabinet's commitment to providing equal opportunity to all contractors, subcontractors, consultants, and subconsultants. So, the program criteria to be a DBE is: first, you must be a small for-profit business, meaning you must meet 2 size standards. The first one is the DBE size standard. That is a 3-year average of your annual gross receipts, including any affiliate businesses, and it must be under the DBE statutory cap set by USDOT. At this time, as of May 9th, 2024, that cap is at $30.72 million. The other size standard is the SBA size standard. That is a 5-year average of your gross receipts, including affiliate firms, and it must be under the size standard per NICS code. There are special restrictions for airport concessionaire DBEs, or ACDBEs, and if you'd like to learn more, you can go to the link below to find more information. You must also be 51% owned by a socially and economically disadvantaged individual or individuals. The management and daily business operations have to be controlled by one or more of the socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. And the personal net worth statement, or P&W, cannot be over the max limit, which at this time is $2,047,000. What is social disadvantage? Any person who is a citizen or a lawfully admitted permanent resident of the United States who has been subjected to racial and/or ethnic prejudice or cultural bias within the American society because of their identity as a member of a group and without regard to their individual qualities from circumstances beyond their control. Below are members of groups that are customarily recognized to be disadvantaged. That would be women, Black American, Hispanic American, Native American, Asian Pacific Americans, subcontinent Asian Pacific Americans, and any other minorities that are established by the SBA program. Please note though, if the owner is not a member of any of those above classes, he may demonstrate that he is socially disadvantaged based on his own personal experiences and circumstances that occurred within American society. To become certified in Kentucky, if your principal place of business is in Kentucky, then the following must be submitted: a Uniform Certification Application, or UCA, a Personal Net Worth Statement, P&W, and a Declaration of Eligibility, DOE. Those forms can be found at the link below. You must then also submit any supporting documentation and undergo an on-site interview. Some supporting documents are listed below. They're not limited to just these items though. That could be your resumes, that could be your contributions, your tax returns, any licenses such as electrician or engineer licensing, bank information, proof of citizenship, etc. Once you've gathered all the information you need to submit to Kentucky, you can submit it two ways: via online to our email at kytc.ocrsbd@ky.gov, or by mail to Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Office for Civil Rights and Small Business Development, 200 Merrow Street, 6th floor west, Frankfort, Kentucky, 40622. Once we've received all your information, we will then schedule an on-site interview. We will come to the firm's principal place of business, or we'll perform it virtually. We'll interview the firm's owners, review any resumes and work histories of key personnel. We'll inspect and photograph equipment and facilities, and we'll also do job and site inspections if applicable. Please note though, if you're an out-of-state firm, meaning your principal place of business is outside of Kentucky, we will contact your jurisdiction of certification to get their on-site that they've performed for your certification. Once we've received everything and we've also conducted an on-site interview, we will have up to 90 days to process the application. It will then be submitted to our certification committee, which is composed of several KYTC executives. They'll discuss each case and review the file and the on-site report. They will make all final eligibility decisions for the KYTC DBE program. Once the decision has been made, a certified letter will be mailed to the firm. If you're an out-of-state firm, meaning your principal place of business is outside of Kentucky, you will apply for what is called interstate certification. In order to apply for that, you only need to submit 3 items: a cover letter that indicates the UCP that you are certified with along with all other UCPs, an electronic image of the UCP's directory, and a new declaration of eligibility, or a DOE. Once we've received all 3 of those items, the certification should be completed within 10 days. So now that you're certified of Kentucky, in order to maintain certification, you're required annually to submit documentation supporting your continued eligibility. And that has to be submitted on the anniversary date of the jurisdiction's original certification. Those documents could include a new declaration of eligibility, current year taxes, etc. Every 3 years, we will conduct a review for continued eligibility with the KYTC OCRSBD. An investigator will contact the firm and update the firm's file and also perform an updated on-site review. Please note though, that any changes that have occurred in the firm must be reported to the KYTC OCRSBD within 30 days. Those changes can include changes in size, disadvantaged status, ownership, or control requirements, or it can include a change in the firm's address, email address, phone numbers, or any other contact information. If we do not get this information within those 30 days, there is a risk that your firm may be decertified. Once you are certified as a DBE, you are also given access to our DBE supportive services free of charge. In the table below are classes that are provided for free by CEI. That can include doing business with KYTC, bonding and letting, locating work opportunities, creating a business plan, or even building a website. All DBEs are given free access to these resources and trainings. CEI also provides bid matching assistance in which it will help the firms find bids that match the work that they perform. If you'd like more information, you can go to the kydbe.com website. Let's talk about continued reciprocity. There is currently a reciprocity agreement between Kentucky and Indiana. And what this means is that you can be certified in Kentucky and count towards DBE goals in Indiana and vice versa. A firm in Indiana can be counted towards Kentucky DBE goals. But please note that in order to do that, you must be pre-qualified in both states unless it's for a supplier or a trucking firm. Currently, we also have a reciprocity agreement with Ohio for the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project. What this means is that if you're a firm here in Kentucky, for that project specifically, you can count towards that goal in Ohio and vice versa. You will also need to be pre-qualified in both states for this. Thank you, and please contact us if you have any questions. I'd like to go ahead and pass this off to Singer Buchanan, who will talk more about the MWBE and veteran programs.
Greetings. My name is Singer Buchanan. I'm the Executive Director of the Office of EEO and Contract Compliance in the Finance and Administration Cabinet, a part of Team Kentucky. Part of this program we're doing now is called Growing Your Own. If you take a look at the name down at the bottom of this slide, Holly M. Johnston, who's our Cabinet Secretary, she is a career state employee that grew her way up the system. It's great to know that we can do it internally. Now we want to give you a shot. And being an HR person, we also want to know if you're interested in applying for any positions with the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We're interested in talking with you, even beyond what you're talking about with the certification programs. Okay? But what we do in my office is we certify the MWBE and the Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business certification programs. And both of these are free, by the way. So what do we do? Why do we do this? Well, our objectives is we want to assist your businesses in locating and obtaining business opportunities. We want to encourage networking and partnering among Kentucky minority women business enterprises and expand market growth by minority women business enterprises. The benefits? Well, as a minority-owned business enterprise for Finance and Administration Cabinet, you get qualified for construction and projects and contracts. You qualify as minority business enterprise for state government procurement and small purchases. And we have something called home state certification. Other states, if you want to bid for contracts with them, you show them the certification for us, chances are they'll give you an opportunity to join their program as well. And locally, our certifications are recognized by many different organizations in the Commonwealth. We have the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government, the University of Kentucky, University of Louisville, Kentucky Housing Corporation, Louisville Metro Human Relations Commission, Louisville Water Company, NiSource, which is Columbia Gas, LG&E, Humana, Amazon, and even Walmart. So you see these programs go a long way once you take the time to get certified. A lot of other people will give you opportunities. So the Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business and Minority Women Business Eligibility Standards, some of them vary a little bit, but these are something they have in common. You know, for the straight program, you must be a Kentucky resident and your business must be located in Kentucky. Now you can have offices in other states, but you do need one office at least in the Commonwealth. You need to be 51% majority owned by minority women or veteran with a service disabled disability. The owners must have owned and operated the business for at least a full calendar year. That's 365 full days, okay? And you must also have filed a federal income tax for one full calendar year in the year preceding the time that you apply. And the business must be small according to the U.S. Small Business Administration. They set their own guidelines depending on your product and your business size, so I will refer you to look to them to see whether or not you're qualified for those. But chances are you probably do. I would look into it if I were you. Okay. Now we need some documentations. People say, why do we need documentation? Well, we need to make sure that you have the capacity to do what you say you're going to do. So we want to work with you in the front end to make sure that we have all this taken care of. With the Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business, of course, we want to make sure that you were in the military. Okay, so we do like to see a DD-214 or some other form that proves that you were a member of the service. You also need to show something from U.S. Veterans Affairs letter showing that you are disabled and it was service disabled. We also take certifications from the DBE, SBA, and the Kentucky Minority Women Business Enterprise. We want to see proof of Kentucky residency. We want to see proof of your ethnicity or racial identity. What is your gender? We want to see documents indicating your business is certified with the Secretary of State's office. We want to see the resume of the owner to make sure that they have the qualifications necessary to perform the duties and services that they said they want to do. And we also want to know how you acquired ownership. We want to make sure that this is something that is legitimate, okay? We want to make sure that your compensation schedules and other things that you're doing with your employees are out there outlined so we can see what's going on. We want to see a list of your employees, what their job titles are, dates of employment. We also want to look at your equipment to make sure that you can do it. If you tell us you're going to build a skyscraper and all you have is a bulldozer, that's going to be probably a problem. So we want to make sure that you have the capacity to move forward. Okay? With the Minority Women Business Enterprise Program, once again, we want to see proof of certifications from any other entities. Copies of certification denials in case someone else turns you down. It doesn't mean that we won't accept you, we just want to make sure that we're able to work through whatever problems we saw with the previous certification. Once again, we want to see proof of your ethnic, minority, or female status. We also want to see documents indicating business entity status, once again through the Secretary of State's office. We want to see the resumes of the current owners to make sure that they're doing what they say they can do, have the background. Once again, we want to see how the business started, your proof of contributions used to acquire the ownership. And once again, we want to see who your employees are, job titles, dates of employment. And once again, we want to see that equipment list. So how does this process work? Well, first thing you do, you submit a completed application. The completed applications are signed, all questions have been answered, and documents have been submitted. Staff will schedule and conduct an owner interview with you. The owner interview could include a review of inventory, equipment, other facilities, and job sites. Our staff will make a recommendation to the Kentucky Business Certification Committee. This committee, which is internal, includes military people, because we have the Service Disabled program, we have our procurement people, we have accounting, we have auditing, we have legal, we even have some project managers that do the construction for the projects we do within the Commonwealth. The certification committee will meet. They normally meet every 2 months. They'll either approve, deny, or defer certification. Denial means there's some major flaw in the application process. Hopefully our staff will find that before it gets there. Our denials are very small. Okay, we do our best to make sure that we're vetting people before we take it to the committee. Or they may defer it because of some sort of issue dealing with ownership or some other manner. The certification is good for 3 years. Now, if you are denied, there is an appeal process. In deferrals, we basically just need a little bit more information from you. Okay, so how to submit an application for the MWB certification. Early on, I mentioned my cabinet secretary, Holly Johnson. When she first came on board, she looked at all the offices and said, what do you need? She looked at our office and we said, hey, we would like to have an online portal so that we can make it easier for you, the vendors, to apply for the things. She got the money, okay? Growing Kentucky, growing your own. This is what she's doing. This is what we're trying to do to continue this process. So you go on kentucky.gov and create an account. Once your account is registered, you can begin the application process. Application submission is via the certification application portal. Upload the documents requested. It's really quite easy. It's only about 1.5 years old now, but we've been very successful. I think we've done over 85 new businesses since we started this process. Okay. We also have a streamlined application process for veterans. So if you're currently a U.S. Small Business Administrating Veteran Small Business certification, which verifies your eligibility, ownership, and control by Service Disabled veteran owners, we're going to accept that. As part of the verification process, applicants move through 4 stages. We have the intake, assessment, federal review, and finally we make a decision. After completion, the veteran will receive the Veteran Small Business Vet Cert letter. With this letter, your KYSD VOSB application will be streamlined. Very simple process, okay? And streamlined process for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet DBE certified business certification. Like Holly said, if you're a Kentucky resident who owns a business certified as a DBE through the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, you are eligible for a streamlined NWB application process. So what do we want you to do? Complete the application in the portal. Upload the following documents: proof of Kentucky residency, Kentucky's driver's license, proof of Kentucky-owned residency, utility, bills, etc. Something to show that you're legitimately here. And finally, we want to see the proof of your Kentucky Transportation Cabinet DBE certification. Show us your letter or your certification. Okay. The streamlined application process for business 100% minority or women-owned. complete the application process, and upload the document as requested. If your business is a single member LLC or a sole proprietorship, you may be eligible to bypass the owner interview if ownership of the business is clearly documented, control by the program eligible owner is clear, the expertise required for the business is validated, and independence from other business is verified. All this can be done through the documentation that you submit. So if you have everything there, please turn it in early and we can make it easier on you to get through this process. So next, I'm going to introduce Pamela Pearson from the United States Small Business Administration Certification that's going to talk about their programs.
Good evening. My name is Pam Pearson, and I'm with the United States Small Business Administration. And today I'm going to be going over the certifications program that are offered by the Small Business Administration. The federal government is the world's largest buyer. We produce over $500 million per year. 23% federal contract dollars are intended for small businesses. One of the advantages of our small business certifications is you have full and open competition, small business set-asides, and sole source. To qualify for federal contracts for certification, those are interested in doing business with the federal government, we have 4 programs. We have the 8A Business Development Program. We have the Historically Underutilized Business Zone, which is also referred to as our Hub Zone program. We also have the Women-Owned Small Business Program and the Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Program. So as I stated earlier, one of the advantages of doing business with the federal government is you qualified for set-asides. So to be eligible, you have to be socially and economically disadvantaged, and it's designed to level the playing field. So this chart here gives you a projection of the dollars that are allocated for each certification. As you see, for the woman-owned small business, it's 5%. For the small disadvantaged small business, and this includes our 8A program, it's 11%. For our Hub Zone business, 3%. And for our service disabled veteran-owned small business, it's 5%. What is economically disadvantaged? Well, the requirements to qualify for economically disadvantaged is you have to have a personal net worth of $850,000 or less, and this includes assets minus your liabilities. You have to have a 5-year average income of $400,000 or less, and the fair market value of all assets has to be $6.5 million or less. Now we're going to talk about the 8A Business Development Program. This program is a 9-year program, and it is a business development program, so you do have to be committed to the 9 years, and it has to be your sole source of business. You can't have any outside business. So the advantage of the 8A Business Development Program is it gives you access to business development support. You get free training in technical and management. It helps you build your capacity and grow through contracts. And as I stated earlier, it is a 9-year program. So I always tell everybody to make sure that they are willing to commit, because it does take 9 years to go through the program. The requirements for the 8A program, you have to be small, and that's going to be based on your NAICS code. Also, you have to be 51% owner of the business. You have to control the day-to-day operations. You have to be eligible for the other 8A requirements. It's based on your character, and you can't have no ineligible business. The application process. First, you have to be registered on SAM.gov, which is the procurement system that all of the federal contract agencies use. You have to, once you register on the SAM.gov, it will give you your UEI number. You have to identify what your NAICS code is. Also, to apply for the certification, once you have your SAM.gov profile set up, then you're ready to apply. And all of our certification, you do apply online. There is an application review where you can look at the application to see, to review what's expected of you. You want to gather the required documentations, and then once you have the documentation, you have read over the guide and you know what's expected, then you're now ready to apply, and you'll go to certified.sba.gov. We also have resources that will help you with your application. You can access the knowledge base, which is housed on the Certified portal, and you can get assistance through certified.sba.gov. And we also have other resource partners that we work with, like the Kentucky Apex team and the Small Business Administration, that can also assist you with your application. To get the most out of your 8A certification, you're qualified for set-aside or sole source contract awards, which also helps the federal agencies to reach their goals. You're also qualified for, if it's a 4.5 million or less, you don't have to compete, and they can directly sole source that contract to you. So rather than competing with the universe, you're only competing with other 8A set-aside contractors. For manufacturing, the threshold is 7.5 million. So anything that's 7.5 million or under for manufacturing, they can directly sole source it to you. It also gives you an opportunity to build capacity and grow by establishing joint ventures and participating in the SBA's Mentor Protege program. It also gains you access to free training. That's going to be management and technical assistance programs. It also gives you guaranteed loans and bonding assistance. Now we're going to go into the woman-owned small business. And the requirements for that certification is you have to be 51% ownership, you have to be the manager for the day-to-day operations, time in business, and also you have to be small based on your NEXT code. So to be eligible for the woman-owned small business certification, as well as the economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, you have to be registered in SAM.gov. And to apply for that program, you're going to go to wosb.certified.sba.gov. And you have to apply for the woman-owned certification program first before you can apply for the economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business. So to get the most out of the woman-owned certifications, you qualify for set-aside or sole source contract awards. This increases prime and subcontracting opportunities. It also gives you the opportunity to build capacity and grow by establishing joint ventures and participating in the SBA's Mentor Protege program. It also gives you free training, and that's going to be management and technical experience as well. It gives you assistance to guarantee loans and bonding assistance as well. Next, we're going to go over the HubZone program. So the HubZone program, what is a HubZone program? To determine if you are in the HubZone area, you can go out on SBA.gov. There's a map, and you put in your zip code, and it'll tell you if you live in the HubZone or not. Because you have to live in the HubZone, where your business have to reside in the HubZone area, and 35% of your employees also have to reside in the HubZone. HubZone assists us with employment opportunities, capital investment, and economic leverage. To be eligible for the HubZone program and the requirements, you have to be 51% owner and a U.S. citizen. Your principal office has to be located in a HubZone area. 35% of your employees must also reside in the HubZone area. Your NEXT code must be, based on your NEXT code, you have to be small in size. And also, there's a review of HubZone locations. As I stated, you just go to the SBA.gov, and there is a map where you can put in your zip code to determine if you're in a HubZone area. All right, next, we'll go over the Service Disabled Veteran Certification Program. With this program, you also qualify for set-aside opportunities. It helps you build capacity and grow, and you can establish joint ventures. So to determine if the service disabled veteran own small business certification is appropriate for you. You must be 51% ownership. You must manage the day-to-day operation. You must be have managerial experience. You must have the proper NEXT code, and you must be the highest officer position. To get the most out of this certification, it enables the firm to qualify for set-aside or sole source contracts, which helps the federal agencies to reach their goals for the Service Disabled Veterans Program. It helps facilitates development opportunities and increase growth potential by establishing joint ventures or through the mentor-protege agreement. Also, is more prime and subcontracting opportunities through registration at veterans.certified.sba.gov. And that wraps up our certification workshop. Thank you for joining us.